What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about Life After Lockup. This is season 2, episode 23, and the title of this episode is Broken Bonds. Starting off with Michael and Sarah. So Michael tells Sarah that they need to get a divorce and that it's not going to work out in front of Aviana. Sarah tells Michael that he acts like he wasn't engaged, and Michael basically denies ever being engaged to Megan. Sarah says that she felt like Michael left her and his daughter to struggle. Michael justifies his actions by saying that they argued a lot and he only stayed so that he could have rights to his kids. Michael confesses that he loved her but wasn't in love and only proposed to have rights to his children. Michael says Sarah doesn't know the man he is today and is still in love with the old Michael. Moving on to Brittany and Marcelino. Brittany and Marcelino head to court, and Brittany is scared and worried she is going to lose her son because of Marcelino's actions. They meet with her attorney before walking in, and the attorney gives Marcelino a pep talk, okay? He's serious. He tells Marcelino no matter what, stay calm, no reactions, and don't take matters into his own hands again. Let's move on to Scott and Lizzie. Scott and Lizzie are still arguing. She tells him that she's done with him, and he throws this big wad of cash at her because he doesn't like that she says that she's done with him. This dude even goes as far as to taking a branch and hitting a SUV. Now, I'm not sure if this was his car or not, but the fact that he's vandalizing, even if it was his car, it's crazy to me. So Scott tells Lizzie that he was there for her and is expecting her to show the same loyalty in return. But Lizzie isn't willing to risk ending back in prison. She is just not willing to do it. It wasn't healthy in the very beginning. So I believe that these two do need to go their separate ways. And I believe that if she wants a second chance at life and she wants to be better and do better in life, then she does need to cut ties with him if he is still doing drugs. Like, there's no way. I don't care what he did for her in the past. I feel like if you do something for someone, you should never expect to receive something back. You should be doing that out of the kindness of your heart and because that's something that you want to do. So my thing is, nobody pulled his arm and forced him to do those things he did for Lizzie. He went into debt because he wanted to. He was free. So he adds that he feels betrayed by Lizzie while blocking her from getting into her own car. He demands to know who Lizzie's been with. Lizzie tells him it doesn't even matter because they aren't even together. When Lizzie gets into the car, she tells Scott that this is basically a breakup and she'll never be with him again. Let's go back to Brittany and Marcelino. So Brittany gets 60-40 custody of Giovanni. She was granted 60 and Tito 40. So let's go back to Michael and Sarah. Sarah says that the Michael that she fell in love with is no more. She is back in New York and says that she feels emotionally drained, adding she gave Michael the benefit of the doubt for 7 years and doesn't care to do that any longer. She's certain that he loves his daughters and wants to be a good father, but she's tired of him. She's tired of being the one putting forth the effort for him, making sure that these kids see their father. He needs to be the one to put in the effort. So let's move on to Michael and Megan. Michael FaceTimes Megan and tells her that he told Sarah that he wants a divorce. Megan tells him, is he sure he's going to actually go through with it this time? And she hopes that he's serious about it. Michael knows Megan is waiting on him to get a divorce, but since she messed with his homeboy, it's just added on to the problems that they already had. Now, this is what Michael is saying. He says that he knows he'll always love Megan. Before he ends this FaceTime call, he tells her that he loves her. Let's move on to Andrea and Lamar. So Lamar gets Andrea to open the door finally, and she says that he can just stay for 6 more months. She's trying to negotiate with him, but Lamar is not trying to hear that. Lamar ends up leaving the rental and says that he's taken her phone since she won't return his ID and travel pass. Andrea feels that Lamar's family family is the reason that he went back to jail. So now she feels like from that, she needs to take drastic measures. So Lamar ends up taking Andrea's phone since she won't give him his things back. Let's move on to Clint and Tracey. Clint and Tracey check into the chapel to get married. And Tracey says that their first wedding wasn't what she dreamed of it being that this wedding was in a bar around people that they didn't even know who were drunk. So I just have to say, I'm just so glad that this show is coming to an end because I'm really tired of looking at these two. Tracey walks down in this off-white wedding gown and she has this tacky costume jewelry and she's just all smiles. So Clint is definitely on something during this time, and he has been since they've been filming. These two end up going through with it and exchanging their vows, and a kiss that made me just want to throw up. Like, it was just so nasty. I just, oh my gosh, I'm really about to throw up. Let's go back to Michael. 1 month later, Michael's off of parole. He goes to his mom's house to tell her and his sister the good news. He then tells his mom and sister that he's going to Texas because he needs to tell Megan something. After everything that happened, his mom and sister aren't big fans of Megan. They act like Michael is some saint. It takes two to tango. Michael sought her out and continued to pursue Megan, all while being married to Sarah. Michael says that after what happened with Megan and his homeboy, the trust is broken, but they're cool. His mom says Megan destroyed everything between Michael and Sarah and that she wanted Michael and Sarah to try and work things out. Michael says Megan will be shocked by him just showing up to Texas, but he has something to tell her. His sister says, does he plan on proposing to Megan? Then wetv slick tail leaves us hanging. Let's move on to Lizzie. So Jasmine, which is Lizzie's daughter, is graduating from high school. So this is the first milestone that Lizzie will get to be a part of. Lizzie's mom gets very emotional and is glad her daughter is clean. Lizzie picks the wrong time to pull her daughter to the side and tell her that she went to see Scott and Callie. Now, she already knows that Jasmine had gave her that ultimatum and forbid her mother to see Scott. So she tells her daughter, and she reassures her daughter that she's focusing on her family only and that things are done with Scott. She's closing that chapter for good. Let's go back to Andrea and Lamar. So Andrea has lost it and says that she just needs to put on her big girl panties and keep his IDs. Andrea says that Lamar is fighting to stay in the ghetto. She has that Lamar could never leave her because he's addicted to her. Lamar says that he understands that she means well, but he thinks the Mormons done messed up her brain. Andrea gives him his IDs finally and travel pass, and Lamar doesn't hesitate to get in the car and leave. Lamar says that he is not trying to jeopardize his freedom over no female. Let's go back to Brittany and Marcelino. Now that Brittany has joint custody of Giovanni, she feels secure and safe knowing no one is going to take her son away from her. Brittany and Gio make a banner for Sasha because she says that she's sad without her. And the next scene, Brittany gets a call from Sasha in jail, and they find out exactly where Sasha's cell is. Brittany tells her to be looking out of her window during a certain time because she has a surprise for her. Let's move on to Michael and Megan. So Michael is so happy to be out of the state. He feels that he's making the right move by showing up unannounced on Megan. He says that he's nervous that the conversation won't go well. Michael says that he knows he's done hurtful things, but they've both hurt each other. On the way to Megan's, Michael gets a call from a woman, and it definitely isn't Sarah or Megan, but this woman has kids. Michael is still juggling women. He tells this woman he's going to call her back later that night. He claims it was just a female calling his phone and it's bad timing. When Michael pulls up to Megan's, he's like, this is a nice house. Let me find out they're rich. The whole time I'm thinking, how are you popping up at a house that isn't even Megan's with the overnight bag. Okay. It seemed like he was insinuating that he was going there to actually break up with Megan, break things off. But I feel like when he popped up and seen that house and seen how she was living and sitting, maybe he shifted. Maybe he changed his mind. So Michael says that he has something big that he needs to tell Megan, and he doesn't know how she's going to take it, but he's willing to take all of the precautions to get out what he needs to say. Now, see that there? He doesn't know how she's going to take it, but he's willing to take all the precautions to get out what he needs to say. Now, he says that it's the hardest thing that he's ever been through. And I would think that being locked up in prison and being away from your daughter would be one of the hardest things that you ever had to go through. But okay, Michael. So Megan answers the door, and she knew that he was coming, but she's trying to fake it for the cameras. I know production had to let her know that he was coming. There's no way you're going to just show up at somebody's house unannounced. So Megan says that there's a lot of trust issues that they need to overcome. Michael tells her that he wants them to get back to where they once were. I don't know about that. So they hug, and then that's it. That was the end. So WeTV is so messed up to do that to us. So I'm thinking that they left us hanging because they plan on doing another season with them. If they bring another season with Michael and Megan, will you be watching? That's my question to you all. This was Life After Lockup Season 2, Episode 23, which was the season finale. Again, the title of this episode was Broken Bonds. Let me know your thoughts on each one of these couples down below in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who also loves watching Life After Lockup. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time that I make an upload. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.